shows me that I also wasn't just one of the bajillion jobs that they applied for, that they actually put value in what we have to say, that they actually are wanting to grow themselves as well. Hey there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goals at this video is to walk you through what to do when you get rejected from a job application. Now if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run an outsourcing company here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to do business from home. So make sure to hit subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now when it comes to applying for jobs, there is that risk that you're going to go through where you are rejected from the job position that you just applied for, and it happens. And I'm going to walk you guys through what to do once this happens, any other things that you can add on to the experience. So make sure to watch until the end of this video so then you are able to fully process and move forward and even grow from the position that you were applying for. Now one of the first things that you should do right off the bat once you get that rejection is to ask for feedback. If you're getting rejected from a job position, there's probably a good reason why that is. It could be that your skills just didn't match, your personality did not match, or they just found someone better. When you are able to ask for feedback, you are not going into a loop of like, loser, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. You actually get clarity on why you didn't get the job in the first place. And most employers are going to be just more than happy to let you know like, hey, this is why you weren't a match. Thank you so much for asking for feedback. Whenever an applicant asks me for feedback of why they didn't make it, or even just after an interview, it always impresses me because it shows me their growth mindset. It shows me that I also wasn't just one of the bajillion jobs that they applied for, that they actually put value in what we have to say, that they actually are wanting to grow themselves as well. So that's the first thing that you should do, is really just ask for feedback. Next is, once you have that feedback, go ahead and review and reflect on what you want to do next. Basically, what parts of the feedback you want to take into account and maybe what to let go of. Oftentimes when we're given feedback, it actually isn't something that is applicable to us. So let's say you applied as a virtual assistant for someone who needed a social media manager. And let's say their feedback was like, oh yeah, you really weren't that good on this one obscure social media channel that we want to go into. It's now up to you if you're going to take that upon yourself and like, okay, I'm going to master this one platform now. Or you're going to learn how to be secure within yourself of like, hey, I might not be a master of that one, but I know how to do Facebook, I know how to do Instagram, I know how to do TikTok, I know how to bring results in all of these other platforms, and there will be an employer for me. So keeping in mind again that there will be feedback that might be applicable to you right away, or might be something that you put in the back burner or something maybe later. But when you get the advice basically from the hiring manager or from the employer themselves, keep that in mind, that there is some value there, there's some wisdom there of what it is that they're trying to say, even when it is tough, even when it's a harsh feedback of why you weren't able to make it. Next thing is to just remind yourself of your skills. Now what I mean by this is, you might have already your resume, you have your application letter. You guys, if you don't have any of those, I do have videos on how to create a resume and how to write an application letter. But basically, you might already have a list of the skills that you have, right? But what I mean by this is, once you get rejected, you kind of feel a little bit disheartened. You kind of feel just rejected from the job that you really wanted. So what you want to do is you kind of want to talk yourself up, basically. Remind yourself of the things that you've been able to do, and know that you're never really starting from scratch. There's always something for you to upgrade. There's always something for you that you want to focus on. As you start looking for other jobs, try to see, okay, what can I focus on? What can I highlight that I know I can do, that I can bring to the table? So then next time you are always showing up with your best foot forward. Next is to simply just upgrade yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. Take this time that you don't have a job just yet to go through training, to go through books, to go through audiobooks or podcasts where you aren't yet occupied by the time of doing the work, into upgrading yourself, your skills, and taking whatever it is that you learn into the next thing that you apply for. Next is to just really keep in mind to work on your strengths, not just to focus on it, but to actually work on them. As you are upgrading upgrading yourself, work on your strengths. Try to see, okay, where do I actually shine? So the next time that you get interviewed, next time you apply, you're able to highlight this as a part of yourself. Keep in mind that something that could be so easy to you might be really hard for someone else. It might be easy for you to create like a graphic post in 5 minutes, but it takes someone 2 hours to even create an Instagram post. So keep that in mind, to keep honing in your own strengths. Keep honing in. It doesn't even have to be the hard skills. It could be that you are a brilliant communicator. That could be your strength. So try to find YouTube videos or TED Talks where you can keep leaning into that strength of yours. So when the time comes that you have to show up for your next employer, you're able to, again, show up in the best way. Next is you can also just look at the job ad to see if you're actually the person who could be the best fit for that. There's always an infinite and abundant amount of opportunities for you, opportunities for other people. So when you are able to take that step back and actually see like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have been a match because of this and this reason. I wouldn't have been able to cope up maybe, or this isn't my strength, which is why you want to focus on your strengths. You don't want to force yourself as a circle into a square-shaped hole. You want to make sure that you are fitting into where you are actually supposed to be and not forcing yourself into becoming someone else just to get a job. Next is to just keep your options open. Become friends with the HR manager. Just say, hey, thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. Please do let me know in the future if you have other positions that could match my skills. When you do this, you are opening yourself up for other opportunities for them. You can even add on and say, hey, if you know someone who might need also my services, feel free to refer me and I would be even more than happy to give you a fee for that. So you're giving them ideas beyond just rejecting you, of keeping like, hey, this person matched actually a position that we had 3 months ago. We didn't even think about it. Let's see if they can be matched for that. Or again, hey, my friend is looking specifically for the skill that you have. Let me refer you. So you're making sure that you stay friends with your potential employer, because you never know what will happen in the future. It's always important to not create any animosity, not create enemies basically as you start working from home, because you never know who knows who. It might be that you become a little bit rude and irritated with your employer and they see that and they feel that, and their friend is the person that you next apply to, and when they talk of like, yeah, oh yeah, I remember that applicant, they weren't really nice. So then you always have to keep in mind to keep your options open, to stay friends with the people that you interact with online, because you just never know. And lastly, and this will sound cheesy when it comes to being rejected, but it's also true, is it might just not be you. It's kind of the reality a lot when we're hiring instead of 2XU, is that when we reject someone, it's usually because we might have been filtering for someone else and they were already really close, and then when you came along, the client already took them and wanted to work with them. Or it could be that you just weren't a match personality wise. We might be needing someone who is really detail oriented, you're more of a vision person, then it might really not work out in the long term. Try to focus on the things that you can control, like again, your skills, upgrading them, working on them, your strengths, being able to stay friends with the people that you've interacted with, rather than focusing on the things that you can't control, which is they might just have really specific things that they're looking out for as someone who can work with them, and you just weren't matched to that. And you are going to find that employer, you're going to find that person who is a match for you, who could be even your dream boss. So as you start getting rejections, as you start getting, the no's when it comes to applying for jobs online, just keep going, keep showing up, keep just working on yourself, because honestly, the right employer will see that and will appreciate that you worked on this. And then once you guys start working, it'll be something that's easy and not forced at all. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what are the ways that you've coped with rejections when it comes to applying for jobs online. Now, if you guys still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to do business from home. You guys can check out those 2 playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.